Robert, go ahead.
Shall I introduce myself?
Yes,
well,
please.
I'm Robert Hoff. I'm a filmmaker, anthropologist. I did Middle East specialization. I studied also some Arabic. Was many times in many Arabic countries, have good friends. Abdel Wali is my very good friends. And 2 years ago, I was very proud to receive the Ibn Battuta Award for being a filmmaker who is bridging the world, especially the Arabic, Islamic countries and the West. And I'm happy to be here.
Welcome, Robert. I'm very honored to have all of you, and like it's a beautiful experience. And like the topic is like to fight the bad thing, the corruption. As you've been to Arab wars, there is corruption, and there's good people, or good people more than the bad people, but the bad people mostly in power. So we're trying to change this, and now it's a global, and it's easier. It's no absolute power, and you should know absolute power like before the corrupt power. And there is a convention that under the UN Conference of the State Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption that had regulation, and they introduced. They are working hard, and they cannot do anything without the help of the people and everybody, public sector, private sector, and the people, the normal individual people. This all we should help to reach, to stop the bad things that happening to people around the world, which is really great, great effort. Like and like it's the best thing is like the recovery of assets that is they introduced in the resolution. Like they have resolutions, new resolution, and the recovery of assets give people hope. Even if anybody that do something bad, the whole world are united to recover the assets and to execute, I mean, take them to court, and they are not like immune like before. So the whole world is united to recover the assets and to get them to the court and to be punished for what they did. So this is give hope to people to come to not like before. There's no hope. You cannot get them. They are peak people. No, this is not anymore. And thanks for the technology that got us together now. So, and like I can tell you guys, I'm new. I came late to the election, but I think I'm gonna win. And like like.
Let's hope so, Talal. Let's hope so. We are all rooting for you. And Robert, did you ever visit Kuwait?
No, Kuwait not, but Iraq, yes. Syria, yes. I would be pleased to go to Kuwait, and I think it's a great effort what he is trying to reach, but that's.
Well, I mean, I give an invitation for everybody to come to Kuwait. Kuwait it's got a lot of nice things and nice people to meet too. So I wish you come, guys, and I'll be your host, and I will show you the best places.
Thank you.
The best food.
Thank you. I heard also you come from some clan, so you come from the desert, and I know the hospitality in the desert. The hospitality in the desert is a lesson for the whole world, because we in our world, we are like in the desert, living in the desert. And we have forgotten the rules of hospitality, of honor, of open our doors to everybody. And this is so important to show the lessons of the desert.
This is a story, like my dad died when I was very young, and my uncle teaches me a story. There is a guy who was in the desert, and one man traveling helped him. They slept, and he woke up, he was tired. And so he was begging the other guy not to tell the story. And this guy said, like, you're gonna die anyway. And he said, because the goods should not stop. And this is a lesson, the goodness will always be there. And like, I was interpreter for special forces, US special forces. We're going to Iraq. And like, I brought this as a gift for everybody. And like, they like kind of wondering what is kind of gift, because then they found out why, because if we have dust, this is like good to protect from dust and from the sun. And why we wear this, because it's hot sometimes. Everything has a reason. And like, it became our traditional clothes. And like, it's nice clothes. And like, we will wear it.
The desert, the people in the desert, they follow rules of centuries. And it's always rules of hospitality and honor, always open arms, always embracing. And I know many Somalis, for example, I was in the desert many times. And many Somalis, when they go wherever in the world, they will find hospitality from their friends from the desert. Because I say the world is like a desert, but when you don't have friends like in the desert, you are lost. Our world is also a desert, and many times we forgot all those rules of helping each other out, of solidarity, without thinking, what do I gain from this person? Because what do I win from this person? No, it's a rule. You should help each other out. And we should go back to these rules.
Karma, rule, what is karma? Is if you help will come back to you too. And like, this is the nature of the human being, to be nice and to help. And like, if someone in need or someone in problem, you should help. Like the sea rules also. There is rules that if there is someone in the sea in problem, you should help him, because we have both culture, sea and desert. And like what we are in this situation in Kuwait, in 1950, the 40s, I think, we discovered oil, but Kuwait starved for 3-4 years because Japanese discovered the pearls, how to produce pearls. And this is what we used to live from. And then oil came, but we starved for a few years because Japanese discovered how they can farm pearls. And this is why we have Future Generation Fund, that the experience we just came out from, that to put some money in fund for future generation. And now for corruption, because of corruption, there's a Future Generation Fund in Kuwait where I used to work with in New York and like what, and there's another fund called General Fund, the extra money, then the 10%. The Future Generation Fund is taking 10% of each year before anything, before giving to the ministries and like thing, before even debt, the government debt or anything, they first take the 10%, put it in the Future Generation Fund. And if you have extra, you put it in General Fund. We had a lot of billions in both. The General Fund been depleted, and they passed a law in the last Congress before its end, law to stop for the first time the deduction of the 10%. So we are coming to a dangerous situation for the country. Unfortunately, I know numbers and I know this and I read it and I care and like some people don't understand, which is they are happy.
What we do, what we do, and Neil Sealing as well, and Abdel Wali, we try to bring stories of people like you from, for example, from the desert or wherever, people from the roots, with their beautiful stories, inspiring stories, how we can manage our society together. So we are talking now about negative things, corruption, but I want to talk about positive things. And the positive thing is where you come from, the lessons from the desert, helping each other out, solidarity.
This is the beautiful.
And that's what we like to focus on. But maybe Neil can tell more.
The corruption word, everybody's using it, the candidates, and it's a bad word. I mean, it's as you said, it's not a happy word. Okay, not a happy thing to hear always. During this, I discovered by a chance the robot manufacturing, which is the hope for the country to transfer to be to producing country, not only crude oil, to take the other steps. And like this is a hope that makes people happy, not just bad news make you live every day not happy. And there is a hope always, but the only you need to work sincerely and to be good. But there will be always a hope in anywhere in the world. And we go down, but we come up, and always this is the human nature. Human nature. God gave us the forget to be in a bad situation, which is really good thing to have in human nature, to forget. When you are in a bad situation, you forget and you come back and you be happy again. And like this is, yes, we need to be happy. We deserve to be happy, actually. Okay, like this is why I become to this point, because I work hard. So I started working when I worked hard. I worked hard when I started working when I was 14. My dad died when I was young, so I have to taking care of my family. I mean, rental and maintenance and something that taught me to be a hard worker, and it is a good thing. And to get earlier experience, working experience, which gave me the power to keep going and keep going for the good thing. And there is a hope. There's always a hope. And like seeing other country what they do, this is a hope. Like you are in Nicaragua now, and like there is good things also in Nicaragua. There's good people in Nicaragua, I'm sure, and it's a beautiful country. I'm sure. I've not been there, but they have a lot of greenery. That's what we miss. We have a lot of rain. That's what we don't have. So every country has a nice thing about it.
Talal, this brings me to the good points and good question for Robert. Talal is fighting healthcare corruption in Kuwait, and this is his main point in the campaign. This question maybe will be also to Neil, but I will begin with Robert. You as a media man, if you are his advisor, what can you advise him?
What I think in all public institutions, we see not so much the big corruption, but we see soft corruption. We see overpaid bureaucrats. We see a very fat management And we see that 80% of the public money, which should be directed towards health, towards education, towards media, goes in the pockets of the managers. But they sit there with approval of the government, or it's their position, but they are non-productive. They are, to my opinion, corrupt, soft corrupt. It's approved corruption, but they are taking away our public funds. We should change that wherever in public health care. We should go much more to prevention, to people working in the field, and invest in them. Not in the not so much in the hospitals, which sell very expensive medicines, get a lot of commission, and put everything in their pockets and are overpaid. And the nurses get much less. So the same in education, the same in media. I see everywhere 80% goes to management and 20% to what it is meant for: educate, inform, taking care of each other. So this should be handled. It is a way of thinking about public institutions.
Sure. The same question.
You talk a lot about it.
Same question for
Neil.
yeah, good one.
For me? Okay, yeah. I mean, I agree with what Rob said. In America, more money is spent per person on healthcare than any other country in the world, but our healthcare isn't the best in the world. You know, it's crazy. And you have the pandemic hit, and America has some of the best laboratories, some of the best data, the information. The CDC in Atlanta work very closely with the WHO. And then what's happened is you basically have healthcare in America becomes for, like Rob said, managers, insurance companies, hospitals, bureaucrats, or it's a political fighting tool for our president, you know, sadly. So, you know, public health should be a human right, you know, and a public health knows no borders, you know, virus knows no borders. A virus has no morals, you know, everybody should be working across borders, sharing information, the best information about the best preventative and cures for any kind of health problems. And I think what I would say to Talal is, you know, there's a lot of great information out there, you know, and you can be a conduit in Kuwait when you win in the parliament, you know, and be the person who can speak truth to power in Kuwait and elsewhere. I mean, there's things that are happening in Kuwait that other people should know about too. So using information, it can go in, it could come out, and you can't stop it. You can't put it in a bottle. America, Trump pulled out of the WHO, you know, which is stupid. And Biden is going to put us right back in the WHO in January. And America will be part of the global family of countries trying to do something about the pandemic and other diseases, other healthcare problems, and hopefully work for the best results for a chunk of money instead of, again, as Rob said, going to, you know, privatized hospitals, doctors, pharmaceutical companies, etc. It's wrong. It's an enormous amount of money that's not being used wisely. There's much better cures, and there's a great amount of information if people will listen and share it. So that's my view from here.
One more question, Neil. About Talal, you told me before it's hard fighting and lonely existence sometimes, and sometimes it seems like he is Don Quixote, you know. What can you say about this?
Well, again, I think the ability, like what you're doing right now in Zoom, I hadn't known about your campaign. You know, you slowly, quietly bring it to the attention of the world using the, you know, communications technology at your power. You find other trusted people around the world to know who you are, what you're trying to do, what the problems are that you're trying to fight in Kuwait. And that can slowly be something where there can be more support for truth, justice, being a good neighbor, as Rob said, you know, opening the door, open the windows to information. They say in America, there's a line that, you know, sunlight is the best disinfectant, you know, so you can use media to disinfect a culture. And as you, Rob, said, and you approved, proactively affirm a better culture of information flow, of a better way to live a life, and do it as your example and others learn from you, and that those ranks will grow. You find other support in Kuwait from around the world, and slowly but surely make it all better, I think. I mean, it's not easy. I've been a lonely battle for a long, you know, 40, 50 years, you know, and you have to be patient. You have to have faith in yourself and your friends, your family, your colleagues, and your country. You know, we're patriots. I'm a patriot, not just make America great again. People are the only patriots. Not true. I like that story you told about your opponent trying to do make Kuwait great again. You know, I like your idea of doing a debate, a split screen where they can say what they want, but it has no foundation. There's no truth, there's no justice, and it looks like empty words when you juxtapose somebody who's righteous like yourself with propaganda. It's people with media can choose for themselves, and they'll choose the right thing, I think.
I mean, this bring me to a point now.
Okay.
Like, in Kuwait, they register any death, register it under death. The reasons of death is COVID-19, which is not 100% true. I mean, because the number of deaths and the population that they have a right to take the vaccine before other countries. This is part of corruption. And like some people said, yes, their fathers or whatever, they died. And the reason became COVID-19. So they did not bury their relatives properly the way they wanted. And they fought because they said yes for writing the reason of death is COVID-19, which was not true, because trying to get the quota to get the vaccine right, to buy the vaccine before other nation. So what's right is right, and they should not do this. They should write the numbers as is the right way, correct, no corruption, and even in death, the corruption come too. So yes, fighting battles up and down, but like it's should be a nice ride. You should always think, enjoy the ride. I mean, not, but sometimes under stress, and this make you develop more. Like so, I developed that to be a part of all of us to fight, not the wrong. So which is good. Even if I didn't, when I got to know a lot of people, good people, and there is a good people more than the bad people. Oh, thanks to God.
It's
yes,
also a question of being good neighbors. It is also a question of being good neighbors. I think I would like to sit together with you in somewhere in the desert and having a tea and talk a lot more. at 8 o'clock in the evening when the Venus star is coming up, when the camels will be milked. I did so in Somalia, and it was beautiful. I heard very wise stories.
It's beautiful and quiet, and like you see the stars, a lot of stars. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's like you walk barefoot in the desert, and like it's like nice. You come, guys. Yes, it is nice. It's a beautiful. I tell you, to be in the desert, to be in peace, and away from the fast life that we all now live in. So I should go to the desert soon, yes, and take a break. This is my break after the election. Thank you, Robert, for reminding me of a good thing around me. I should utilize.
And that's the most important, Talal. Wherever you go, maybe you will be in the United Nations one day talking about healthcare or whatever. Always talk also about your roots. Always talk about where you come from, the wisdom you took from your parents, the wisdom you took from your great-great-parents, the lessons which we can all still learn, because our world is a desert. We need to be more, we need more solidarity. We need to help each other more, like in the desert.
Yes, I mean, I've been working and stressed a lot. People tell me you need a vacation. I know where to go for a vacation. It is around me, but I didn't see it. And this is, yes, you are 100% right. I bought a tie in New York for $1, $1.50, I think, in the street. It has camels in it. It's not a silk tie, okay? And I was invited from JP Morgan president, and I was confused with where to wear. I wore this tie, and it was nice. He was happy that I came with this tie. It's not it's a polyester. It's like not like silk expensive, but it represented where I came from, and where I came from, it's beautiful. Yes, and I still have this tie.
Good. I think this is about it for, yeah. What do you think, Abdelia?
Yes, we must stop because this registration must be subtitled first, and then edited, and then you would broadcast even what I heard also Al Jazeera live later, and some channels from Kuwait. So we must stop. Yes, because
I thank everybody. I thank everybody. I thank you a lot, and like I wish you all to come to visit, and
inshallah.
Thank you for having taking the time for doing this.
We thank you for running for the election. You know, you making Kuwait a better place makes the world a better place. It helps me. Yes. Seeing somebody be brave and speak truth to power. So good luck. We're eager to hear how it goes, and may your future adventures be productive. So thank you.
I will send you pictures in the factory hopefully soon.
I wish also all the best, and I really hope to see you soon and to hear much more inspiring stories. And inspiring stories are always stronger than the negative ones. You will always be them.
Mm-hmm. I will have your contacts and keep forming you of good stories, and hopefully going forward. Inshallah.
Thank you so much. Well, we will keep in touch. I will send you a link when all this is broadcasted. Thank you so much, everybody.
That's good, gentlemen.
Later and talk soon.
Be well. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Bye-bye. Peace. Bye.
Victory for Talal.